Please be seated. Oh, thank you very much, Rebecca.
We want to help you because we've been helped by the grace of Mataji. All we want to do is, in collectivity, simply to share it. No money can pay for what you've got. It's a gift. It's a gift of God. And Mataji is here to take you that step further. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
When Warren talks about other gurus, I can't help laughing. It's beyond me to understand why people get stuck up with them. It's really beyond. Because it is so obvious that God cannot be bought. You cannot pay for God. It's absolutely obvious. For any intelligent man, it should be obvious. How much did you pay to become a human being? From, say, monkeys? Or what did we do? Did we cut our tails or anything to become human beings? We have become by the grace of God. What can we pay for the grace of God? It's very simple. You cannot. God doesn't understand money. It's human beings who have created money and all these things and economic wants and all this economic problem. God doesn't understand any economics that you have made. He doesn't understand. This is all your own doings, your own projections and complications, and you are entangled into it. It is as simple as that. And when you see these people who live on other people's money, I call it opium, or parasites, you won't live on other people's money, will you? Any one of you? So they do not even have a simple self-respect. Not only that, but these parasites are thriving. It's so obvious, so very obvious, that we like befooling. The more one is able to befool us, the better we are. I went to Calcutta once for a program, and I had many programs, but one of them was in a very posh place, as they call it, in a hotel. They arranged a program. I said, these hotel people, you see, these rich people, they will not be interested in Sahaja Yoga. They are a bit too rich from all over the world. Overly rich people can never understand this. See, they want somebody who will take money from them and they can show off their money. And we had a program, and there were 2 halls. I told them, take a very small one because I know them too well. And the bigger hall was occupied by another fellow who was with some sort of a show on stuff. And we were amazed that except for 2 people, most of them who came inside went to his program. And after 8 days, he was arrested in Pune for robbing people. But all of them went to his program and not to mine, when it was written not a single pie will be charged and it's all free and all those things. And he looked so dishonest for him. His own photograph, if you could see, that was so dishonest to look at. And people could not see that. I mean, it was so simple to see. See, that shows that you have lost every sensitivity to know what is plastic and what is real. It makes me laugh sometimes the way, today only I was discussing in the aeroplane with somebody who was seriously telling me how much he was tortured by another group where he paid 3,000 pounds just to get some sort of a horrible mantra which has no meaning. And where he worked very hard for days together. And he broke his back and he broke every part of his bone in the backbone area and all sorts of things he did. And I mean, he became so nervous, a recluse. They are even frightened of a garlic if they see one garlic. I mean, after getting realization, you have to be a person who is absolutely powerful, in control of yourself, not aggressive, but not to be such a cowardly recluses. And he told me all these things and I didn't know what to do because it was such a description that you don't know whether to laugh or to cry, really. Because this thing behind it is all hocus pocus, absolutely hocus pocus. I think this word must have started after the fake have come in this world. Absolutely absurdities to say that you'll fly or you will see the light and all this nonsense. And on top of that, the suffering of the person, of a person who is a genuine seeker, who is the seeker of the truth. He is the man of God. And he is being tortured like this, you see. Makes you so unhappy. You just don't know what to say about the whole thing that's happening. You have to wake up to your self-esteem and know that you are created human beings for a special thing and not to be bounced and cheated by these horrible fake people. One has to understand the innate nature of God, to understand what should happen to you as realized souls. If you become abnormal and freaky, then it is not that you have got your realization. On the contrary, a person who is realized becomes extremely normal. He is the most normal person. Apart from these things, there are some reasons built in within us which makes us so stupid. Really built in, I should say. Because we have come from matter. We are gross. Our origin has been gross. We came from matter. And we grew up to see that there is something beyond the matter, that is the spirit, and we are the spirit. But we get dominated by this matter. We really get dominated by matter all through in our ventures. For example, if you are sitting in a chair, for example, you make a chair out of some matter, you cannot sit on the ground. You form a habit of matter. Matter starts growing on you. You become such a slave of matter that you cannot get over it. Any matter you start using, for example, you use a car, then you cannot do without a car. You use electricity, which is a material power. If it fails, everything goes out. You cannot do without it. So matter is all the time trying to overpower the spirit. But the beauty is through your evolution, you evolve to a stage where you are a human being and you start seeing the matter cannot dominate your spirit. This should be the self-estimation. There should be understanding that you are the spirit and not the matter. When you see this simple point, then you understand that you cannot purchase God. Then another point also one understands that it is not the way materially you say somebody you should accept. But spiritually, if he does something spiritually to you, then you should accept. For example, seeing the light. They say you see the light. Why I see the light myself? Yeah. But to see the light, I have to be away from the light. Do you see the point? You have to be the light. So, It's a very simple thing if you understand. It's common sense. That if you have to be the light, then you have to be inside the light. Part and parcel of the light. But to see the light, you have to go further. Actually, from this distance, I can't even see. If I have to really see the light, I have to go much further to see this light. All these things that they are talking, I'm telling you, it's such a camouflage, and they have been very good at befooling you. It is impossible to convince people who want to be befooled. It's impossible. It is easy to befool them because they are anxious to be befooled, so all right. But those who want that they should really realize it, they should get it, then the attitude is very different. They would like to go and see what the disciples have got. These people who have paid so much money, there have been people for 15 years, 20 years, go and see them. What have you got? If they say, all right, I'm feeling very much better in health, you look at the face and you will know they are not. Supposing they fail, I feel relaxed. So what? What is so great for feeling relaxed? So-called relaxation. You can feel relaxed even with a dope. Even going to a pub you might feel relaxed. In some company you might feel relaxed. So what? What is so great? Is that something God's work? Just to relax you? Some people say, I feel better. This might be ego pampering. But what powers did you get yourself? If you become the spirit, then you have to have powers of the spirit flowing through you, isn't it? It should be a common, logical conclusion. What is the power you have got? What have I got from them? They have taken all my purse, my money, thousands of pounds have gone to him, everything done. What did I get from him? We should have an understanding. But this nobody asks because there's a big mafia in all these organizations. You are not supposed to discuss, you are not supposed to talk. You are put into different compartments, it's a big secret going on. If you tell some Indian, he'll just laugh because he knows the meanings of these words are so stupid. Some of the words of the mantras means this, showing this. Some of the words mean scorpion. Some of them means the serpent. All kinds of things. And some of them means the siren. In a very ridiculous way, these people have befooled you. A sort of a respite they have taken, I think. Or is it the respite of the satanic on the divine people who have come on this earth to seek God? Is that the attack of these negative people who are trying to defile you completely and ruin your images on this earth? You have to be aware of that. You are very vulnerable because you are seeking. You are more vulnerable because you have no self-esteem. You treat yourself so cheaply. You do not judge into what lion's den you are entering into, and you get so badly hurt. With all your sincerity, with all that, you do not give a second thought to think that even if there are thousands of them going, before I going there, I should find out what sort of a nonsense is going on there. If you go there as an ordinary visitor, you will immediately find out that this is a fake and a false thing. You are warned in the Bible. It has been warned that there will be fake and false people coming on this earth. Now, there are another type of people also. I will cover the chakras later a little because giving a little introduction to the subject about how to avoid these things. Who are bound by ritualistic ideas, as he said about Christianity. of giving very subtle forms of things. But we must see what it is doing. Like Church of England, can you imagine? Church of England owns the whole of Soho. And the question was raised, how can you own this Soho where all the prostitutes are earning their livings? The answer came in that Christ looked after Mary Magdalene, who was a prostitute. See? You can see. And the people accepted this answer. Then the whole thing of a ritual starts. You see, come along here and sit down and bring the child and we'll baptize. It's a joke. It's a very big joke. Baptism is a living process within you. It's a living happening. Did Christ baptize any one of them? Did he put his hand on anybody's head and say, you are baptized by me? Ask the question. Did he do it? Now, how are these people doing it? They have taken Christ into their hands as if they found him somewhere in the stone, somewhere. What right have they got to say that they are baptizing? It's a living force of God which resides within you. He said that I'll appear before you like tongues of flames. Let them explain this point only. Then they'll say he is the Alpha and the Omega. What does that mean? For all practical purposes, what does that mean to you? For that, you have to read Devi Bhagavad. What was Christ? Who is he? How he is Alpha and he is Omega? Why he came on this earth, really, what was his purpose? It's nothing there, just some few people who are not realized saw him and wrote it down, finished. How can that become such an authority for anyone whatsoever that you are fighting? It's very deep. It's because it is so narrow, it is extremely deep. You have to widen it to see. For example, you are standing on a well which is very narrow. And just hardly can see anything inside. You just see something flickering. To see the complete vision of that well, you have to increase the narrowness of it. And that is we are not prepared to do, because you see, Bible is the last word. Now, I would say any other person would come and say, what is the authority of Bible? Now, what authority will you give? If you say Christ is the authority of Bible, take it like that. Christ never wrote Bible. He never wrote a word. So how do you connect? Could be some journalist who could have written about him. Could be anything absurd. If the Hindus say the Gita, ask them who wrote Gita. Krishna never wrote Gita. Never. Did he write it? So what is the authority of it? Nothing. Gita has no authority as such. How do you say that Gita was the one written by Krishna? It has nothing to do. Anybody, supposing you see me today and you write about me, you can write anything you feel like. Like a journalist came just to sort of find faults with me. She was paid by some fake guru. And she wrote that I eat betel nuts, which I have never eaten all my life. I wish I could, because that pleases some people. But I never eat. I mean, I should have eaten, but I never eat. And she said that she eats betel nut. I don't know from which angle she saw me eating betel nuts. If she had written Bible about me, it would have been something funny. Then that is not the authority either. Moreover, they did not have tape recorders to tape anybody's lectures or anything. Even his photograph was not there. That is today all these things are available. So what is the authority? This is the problem with us, is that we accept certain things as an authority because we think we can control people by this misappropriation of authority to ourselves. There have been people who said, I am the Christ. I said, all right, walk on the walk on the water. First sign of Christ is he will walk on the water because he is Omkara itself. He is Omkara. He can walk on. He has no body as such. He can walk on the water. All right, walk on the water. And first step will maybe in the water, the second will go down. All such hocus pocus could be found out. If somebody says that you give me money, I'll make you fly. Put him on this Leaning Tower of Pisa. What is it meant for? After all, it must be used also sometimes. And throw him down. See how far he goes with flying. Have a nice show for him. That's how you can find out these people, whether it happens or not. So this is how I find in this country also invasion of negativity, of these people who are here to spoil your chances of realization. And it's very difficult to give realization to people who have been to these people, have been initiated, have been really spoilt in their kundalini, is rather difficult. I have worked day in and day out to neutralize it. And I have been working. But the interest in yourself will only come when you will have self-esteem. That is very important. And that is the center of Vishuddhija. This center. I came up to the heart chakra the other day, and now today I am going to talk to you about the Vishuddhi. Vishuddhi is this center placed at the backbone here, which has given a human being a speciality which separates him from animals, that he raised his head upward. By raising his head upward, he has been able to create a new dimension for his brain. And this new dimension is a dimension by which he creates ego within himself. Before becoming a human being, I hope you can see, all of you. Can I come move this side? Before becoming a human being, your brain was flat and all covered with the superego, at the most. Like dogs, or you can say the horses, they have this superego. And when you became human being, a locking system took place by which you started developing, or you can say a twist took place by which you started developing your action. For example, an animal does not know how to make a chair out of wood in action. Physically, at the most, it might carry this chair which is made, put it there and mimic you sit on that. But it cannot make anything with its hand. Maybe it can weave a small little nest or something like that for it to live, at the most. So you, with your action, can overpower the matter. You have been able to achieve great heights in overpowering all the 5 elements by using them as power for your everyday use also, like electricity, magnetism, sound, everything, ether. But animals, when they come in contact with human beings, they also can be conditioned as far as their understanding of relationship with human beings is concerned, but not that they could be made to act onto some matter. And this action, the physical action, has given a byproduct which is called as ego. This is the beginning. Then the second action is the thinking. The animal doesn't think of the future. He doesn't have any insurances. Animal is not bothered about insurance, or what will happen to my great-grandchildren when I die, what part of my house will be going to which children. He's not bothered about all these things. And he does not even have such a sense of possession as human beings have. So, it so happens that we start developing our ego when we start planning for the future, thinking of the future, going in the future, and also when we use our physical being to create something or to do any physical work. If an animal goes and attacks a cow or something, say a tiger, and brings it home for his family, he is not proud, he is not egoistical like human beings are. While human beings, if they earn about, say, $500, they become very egoistical. They think we have earned such a lot of money and we have done so much, we have every right to dominate the wife, and vice versa. But an animal doesn't think that he has a right to dominate. See, whatever he does in the nature of his own personality. He doesn't do it as an idea that he has to do this and he is very important and he doesn't have that ego. So he does not even think that this is karmas, that I have to face for it, and I have done something wrong, I have killed a cow, so I must go to a Brahmin and pay him a lot of money because I have done such a sin. These ideas do not come into the heads of an animal. Because he is not used to that dimension, a new dimension of karmas, to which human beings are because of these two creations. Because of ego, you feel you have done bad karmas or good karmas. If you had no ego, you would never have felt that. These two things starts at this point, as you see it very clearly, should start from there, but is put down there. Actually, these start maneuvering from this point. And you start developing ego and superego in your head, and you develop a triangular brain, a prism-like brain. And when such a brain has developed, then a new problem starts, that through this prism, whatever energy passes into it, most of it goes out according to the parallelogram of forces. That I have no time just now to tell you. Because of that, your attention is all the time outside. You can only do something outside. You cannot take your attention inside. Now supposing I say you put your attention inside, because you have to go inside, you cannot do it. You just can't do it. Your attention is always outside. I have to do this, I have to go there, I have to get it. But you cannot put your attention inside. That's not possible. I cannot just order you that you put your attention inside. Some happening has to take place within you. Supposing something suddenly falls off, then your attention goes there. In the same way, when the happening of the Kundalini awakening takes place, then your attention goes to that which is awakened there. And you start just seeing the awakening. Or you can say the feeling the awakening. But it is such a quick thing, split of a second, that sometimes you miss everything except that you see the cool breeze has started flowing through. Sometimes you do feel it's here, it's here. So many people feel that way also. It's come up now, it is here throbbing, now it's all right, it has started broken. It depends on what sort of a runaway you have. If the runaway is horrid, then you see, you go on feeling all the bumps and the dumps and everything. Sometimes the runaways are so badly spoiled that it takes sometimes months for the Kundalini to rise. But now I think in Sahaja Yoga we have developed such methods and techniques of such permutations and combinations that nowadays it's much easier to raise the Kundalini than it was about, say, 10 years back, when I had about 20 disciples with whom I worked for 2 years to give them realization. In London, I had 6 disciples. For 4 years, I worked on them to give them realization. But today we have thousands in UK, and we have lots of them in Sydney also, and in India also we have thousands, where they just get it in a second. But it's a different thing now because it has evolved so well. But this happening is a living happening. This you cannot do. You can jump, you can stand on your heads, take out your clothes, wear some badges, wear some clothes. You can do all that. But you cannot make the Kundalini rise in the sense you see the pulsation there at the triangular bone. You see the pulsation of the Kundalini there. Actual pulsation. You can see the rising of the Kundalini. You see it. You also feel the cool breeze rising. You can also, with the stethoscope, feel the sound, lap, 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 lap. Coming up to here, which Kabira has very clearly said, Shunya Shikhara Para Anahada Bajire. At the apex of the Shunya Shikhara, zero apex of your head, you hear first the Anahata. Anahata is this sound of the heart without percussion. And that is how you feel the Kundalini. And then it breaks through. You feel it actually on your fingers. It's an actualization of the experience. This is what baptism is. When Warren Reeves said that you never had your real baptism, do not be angry with him. Because it's a fact. You have not got your realization. Christ has said that you are to be born again 100 times, he said. So now they have started saying we are born again. It's again self-certification. First of all, it was baptism. Nowadays there's another thing started, that we are born again. Now they come and ask, these people, they change from one to another. That how is it? Through Christ. You have to get through. And you will see, only in Sahaja Yoga you will understand that ultimately you have to pass through the gate of Christ only to enter into the kingdom of God. Is a fact. What he said, he never told lies. He told the complete truth, nothing but the truth. But the way you interpret it, the way you understand it is so narrow that you do not want to accept it. This is the gate about which he has talked. And this is the greatest thing he has done to us. Now this Vishuddhi Chakra is the center of Sri Krishna. If I say it is the center of Sri Krishna, you may start doubting me. You should doubt me also. It's not proper. It is not problem with Indians because they know it is the center. They know about centers. They know where Krishna resides. They know there are 16 petals to this. And that they know that he is called as a complete incarnation of 16 petals and all that they know. I do not have to quarrel with them. And the center here of Christ is actually confusing because he is called as Mahavishnu. In Indian literature he is called as Mahavishnu, not as Christ. And he is also is Bauddha, not Buddha but Bauddha, which they got a little bit confused in our old scriptures. It's a difference of language. In one of my lectures on Christ, you'll find out about his origin, why he was called Jesus, why he was called Christ, and what is the origin of these things, why it was derived, who was his mother, and everything you'll find out from that lecture that I have got for you. It is better that you go through that lecture and see for yourself. We have lots of these tapes already in Sydney. They can send it over to you. You can look at it from that angle. I mean, in this small little time, I cannot elaborately talk about Krishna and about Christ. But only thing I have to tell you that there's a very great relationship between both of them. And Christ is the word, comes from the word Krishna. Kist in India means the agriculture, and Krishna also come from Krishi, which also means agriculture. Agriculture means the one where you sow, and they are the sowers of the seed. They have sown the seed in the fields. So the sowing of the seed is done by Sri Krishna, and the Gita that he has described is also another very interesting thing about which we are very much confused. Krishna never wrote Gita, first of all. Then it was never written by an absolute Brahmin or anything who was a born Brahmin, but was written by an illegitimate child of a fisherwoman. How can he write a man like that you are born as a Brahmin. You are to be born as a Brahmin. What he was meaning, that when you are born as a Brahmin, then you have the aptitude to seek God. For example, you are all Brahmins in his own words. That means you are the seekers of God. All the seekers of God are Brahmins, and the seekers of power are Kshatriyas, and the seekers of money are Vaishyas. It meant the aptitude, but Hindus as usual have made, like all others have made, a mess of all that philosophy. According to them, you are born a Brahmin. Even if you are the greatest crook of the world, you are a Brahmin. And even if you are a person who is a very highly evolved person, if you are not born in a Brahmin family, then you are good for nothing. This caste system is such a horrible thing in India, which has no explanation at all in the scriptures, because it is written that in everyone resides the spirit. There is spirit in every one of you. How can you have caste system? You can have aptitudes. But as usual, people have escapes of everything. This point that everybody has the spirit within yourself. Gita has described it, that everyone has the spirit within. But one has to know, when he says there is spirit within you, that means he is meaning the human beings have the spirit, not the devils. Because Krishna himself has killed so many devils in his lifetime. One of the powers was Samharaka, means killing. He used to kill so many devils, so there are devils also. On this principle that there is spirit in everybody, why did he kill so many devils? The devils do not have spirit in them. They are devils and devils and devils. For example, say Hitler, if he comes to ask for a realization, do you think he can get it or he should get it? His greatest reward would be a rigorous imprisonment into hell for all his lives to come.
How can you be so sure he was not Krishna casting out more devils?
How can you be so sure that he wasn't Krishna casting out devils, more devils?
He was not.
How can you be so sure that Hitler was not Krishna casting out devils?
For that you must get your realization. That's why. You see, the surety only will come when you become your absolute. Just now you cannot be sure. For example, I'll tell you, when you get your realization, you get your vibrations, all right? Now with these vibrations, you can find out what is true, what is not true. Now you may say this may be all a myth. For example, we had some Brahmins in one of the programs I had first arranged, and I didn't know they had a fight with these organizers, but they said, she's not a Brahmin, how can you have a program here or something like that? And they were sitting in front row. I didn't know they had a quarrel. I just asked them, I said, who is Brahmin among you? Who thinks he's a Brahmin? Just come forward. So 5, 6 of them, you see, like great wrestlers came and sat before me. I said, all right, please be seated. Very arrogant. I said, sit down. I said, put your hands towards me like this. And they started shaking their hands. They got a little frightened. I said, why are you shaking? He said, because we are Brahmins and you are the power, that's why we are shaking. I said, see, your neighbors, they are also shaking. Yes, they are also shaking. They may also Brahmins. I said, please ask them what are they. They asked some people, they said, these are the people who have come from the lunatic asylum. These were the only 2 people who were shaking there. I said, now relatively you can see now, that when you thought you were a Brahmin, you are mad too, to believe into such a thing. Now to believe that Hitler was also good is a typical sign of escaping in life horrible things. This, you see, just to have an idea that everything is fine is the best way of jumping into the devil's den. And that's what has happened with people, that they never doubted anyone. And I don't know from where do people get these ideas in everybody's life. Even Christ, he took a hunter in his hand and he was whipping all the people. He was love, he was compassion, no doubt. But he did whip them. He also said that don't throw pearls before the swine. His compassion had a special purpose, which I will tell you just now, why he got himself crucified also, which is a very important thing. But when we just say that everything is fine, everything is good, the reason is we do not want to face the reality. Because perhaps maybe that we cannot understand that there could be anything bad. But after realization you discover that yourself there are problems. Yourself there's something wrong with you. Leave alone others. There are problems within you which you have not seen and faced. Perhaps there are problems within you which you don't want to see in others, because then you will not be able to justify them. But after realization you get out of yourself. Like this sari I am wearing, if I am not identified with it, I see a spot, I would like to clean it. I see it, I want to clean it. I don't say it's a good thing to have the spots there. But supposing I'm identified, I'll hide it. I'll say, oh, there's nothing wrong, everything is all right. There are evildoers, not one, but so many these days that you have no at all idea. If you had, you would not have lost so much.
Is there such thing as a conscious evildoer?
Beg pardon?
Is there such thing as a conscious evildoer?
What's it?
Would you be able to just leave your questions till the end? Mataji will invite questions at the end.
All right? Now, the thing is, whatever happens to us in our consciousness is only limited to our human awareness. Whatever we see in our human awareness, at the time when Krishna came, we got our human awareness. In that, what do we have? Only 2 points. One is our superego, which is our conditioning. Another is our ego, which we have achieved as a myth, that we have done this, I am that, I like this, you like this. So we are only 2 things, either superego or ego. We wobble between the two. The third thing which should be within us is our spirit heart in the heart. And for that, the central point is the point by which we balance between these two, between the desire and the action. We go on balancing in the center by understanding what is the best. For example, a person drinks a lot. He kills himself by drinking. His son need not read any book to know that drinking is bad. He knows that it is bad. His father is killed because of drinking. So he takes a life which is very much with moderation towards it. You start learning by so many experiences, right and wrong, how to be in the center. That's all you can learn. With human awareness, you can only learn how to be in the center. Now you have to go beyond this human awareness, to be the awareness of the spirit. And when you become the awareness of the spirit, that you should become, that you should ask for, that should be your goal. When you become that, then the whole picture becomes different. Because you can feel it yourself and understand what is right and wrong on your vibratory awareness, which is a new dimension within you. Even children, say take 10 children who are realized souls. If you ask them what's the matter with another person, they will immediately raise the same finger and say this is the matter. When you ask the person, have you got a very bad cold, cough or something, bronchitis, he'll say yes. If this hand is shown, that means all the left side, that means he's suffering from emotional trouble. You do not know anything about your chakras at all before realization. One must accept this. One has to accept whatever it is, there's nothing wrong in it. It's only your ego which stops not accepting. And then once you get your realization, you start feeling your different centers. You start feeling it, actually you start feeling it. And you start feeling the centers of others. Anyone who wants to know whether this person is evil or not is only to ask the question, and you can feel it. You can't even bear some of the horrible vibrations you get from people. Some of the Sahajogis tries for asking for some devilish people, and they got actual blisters, especially Mr. Hitler, whom you are supporting now. actual blisters on the finger, actual blisters. This is what it is. After realization, your real absolute self comes in because you become the spirit which is in the heart. The spirit resides in the heart, but this is the place of its seat. There are 7 seats in the head, and the seat of the spirit is here. When the Kundalini goes, it's just a very small thread of Kundalini rises because there are lots of problems, and a very small, through the Brahmanadi is the centermost channel, it rises and opens this. When it opens it, the grace comes down. And when the grace comes down, you get completely relaxed because it falls on both the sides, on the Ida and Pingala Nadi, which are the manifesting our left and right sympathetic nervous system. By which you feel first relaxed, thoughtless, and then when it is a little bit established, you start feeling the cool breeze because your spirit has started manifesting, and you just feel a cool breeze like a wind coming into you. First you may feel tingling, heat, all that is going out. Sometimes people little bit shake also because if the nerves are not properly built up, if they do not have the strength to bear it, then it sometimes happens that you shake a little bit. Doesn't matter. After some time you start sustaining it. It takes time into some people. In some people it doesn't take time at all. It's the quality of your central path of Sushumna is important. If it is very simple, there's no problem, then the Kundalini takes no time. She's anxiously waiting. She's your mother. She's the pure desire within you, the power to become one with your spirit. Unless and until you achieve it, whatever you may try, you do anything you like, you spoil your Sushumna, but you'll have to get it, otherwise your seeking will not be over. You have to reach the place where you should say, I have found it. If you have not found the spirit, you will never be happy with any sort of thing you do. Anything you do, be kind to yourself, be gracious to yourself, and get your realization. This is a simple thing as a mother I would like to tell you. There's nothing to be done except by getting realization. But if you are an adamant person, and if you are employed by some of the gurus to come here, or you are running a lawyer's job for other gurus and all that, you cannot get realization. I am sorry you cannot get it, I cannot help it. But you have to identify with yourself and see to it that you want to have it, then only you will get it. If you do not have the desire to have it, you will not get it at any cost. You are not to be forced into it. Your freedom is completely respected. If your freedom is not respected, how are you going to enjoy the freedom of your spirit? So it is completely in your hands to be free to accept whether to get realization or not. Now, this chakra of Vishuddhi is very important because there are 16 subplexuses which are looked after by it. For example, ear, nose, throat, all these things are looked after by the center of Sri Krishna. And this center has got 2 sides. One is the left, another is the right side. I have to talk about it because most of the people in the West somehow suffer from the left Vishuddhi. One of them is the reason maybe smoking. Right is more affected by smoking, but later on it goes to the left also. But I think the more important is that you people have developed a theory, I don't know how, that you have to be guilty for everything. Maybe it is from your childhood, you are brought up this way, don't spoil the carpet, don't spoil that, don't do this and don't do that. Maybe your confessions in the churches, maybe, I don't know what to blame, but it's a very good indulgence for people to sit down, so oh, I should not have done this, I should not have done that, criticizing yourself and analyzing yourself. This is also a very good escape of egoistical people. They are egoistical, they dominate others, and then they sit down and weep on the left Vishuddhi. This left Vishuddhi is such a dangerous thing that it creates problems of the worst nature in human beings. For example, if you have, say, any cancerous growth within you, and if you have left Vishuddhi, it's going to be difficult to cure you. Because the escape of the Kundalini has to be through the Vishuddhi chakra. And the Vishuddhi chakra on the left hand side is very important for the escape of all these tensions of the cancer. And if you have this kind of a bad habit of sitting down and indulging into this kind of a nonsensical thing, like sitting down like Lord Byron and reading some sort of a tragedy and making a tragedy out of you. It's a drama going on. What is there to be tragic about you? What's wrong with you? You are very rich people, you have everything. Still, why do you want to cry and weep? All the time you are in a crying mood. Why? God has given you so much. Do you ever say that? Count your blessings one by one. How many blessings you have got? You do know. You are especially blessed people, especially in this Australia. I think you are especially blessed. But you want to show that you are extremely miserable. The worst are French in this, I would say. Because when I went to France, they said, Mother, never say that you are a happy person because they'll think you are not sensitive. I said, really? You think these French are very, very sensitive people? To what? Not to holiness. Not to purity. They are sensitive to God knows what. 10 feet you walk and you found a prostitute standing on the road. And about 10 feet you walk and you find 3 alcoholics lying on the street. These are sensitive people. Are they sensitive to their spirit? What are they sensitive to? And what are they crying about? This is the very good thing that in the night you drink a lot, sleep with 10 women, and in the morning you feel guilty. Who has asked them to go into this kind of a mess? And then to come and sit down and cry, oh, I'm so guilty, I've done so wrong and so on. That's why I have to talk about it, that this center is very important also because it is the sister of Sri Krishna, Vishnu Maya, who rules it. The relationship between brother and sister is absolutely gone hayward in this country, in all the Western countries. For us Indians, we do not understand. Really, we cannot understand. And we cannot explain what it is. The other day only, we had a very interesting talk because 2 Indians have come with me, very, very great Sahajogis there. They said, Mother, why did they say that a girl cannot hold the hand of a girl? I said, you won't understand. He said, no, but we would like to know. You mean to say we should close all our schools, girls' schools in India? I mean, a girl can easily hold the hand of a girl, is much better. I said, why? These people say, you see, it's rather difficult for you to understand. No, he said, but one thing I can't understand, that if a girl holds the hand of a man, will that be a holier relationship? See the accent. They think, will it be holy to hold the hand of a man? It won't be. But a girl is a holy relationship. So this holy relationship is lost in the so-called ventures of the brains, you see. Like, you see, if you go and see in the zoo, if there's a wombat, it behaves like a wombat, see. If there's a monkey, it behaves like a monkey. If there's a tiger, it behaves like a tiger. But a human being, you put him in the zoo. You will see he'll eat up all the fruits, he'll cut down all the trees, he'll go to all the depths of it, and he'll break his nose, he'll lose his ears, he'll spoil his eyes. He cannot sit quietly. You give him a tree, he'll eat the fruit, he'll eat the seed, he'll have the bark inside himself, he'll have all the roots inside himself, he'll do whatever is possible. It's so horrid with this brain, the way it is moving all the time in this direction, that direction, that direction. It wants to bang on all the sides. For what? It cannot sit right. You see, when it is sitting for 5 minutes, it thinks it's a jail, it's boring. So he must go and do something very important. And what important thing he does is to really ruin himself. He must go to a pub, he must go to a friend, he must go somewhere. He will really ruin himself, all his holiness and all his sense of self-esteem. That's why we have no sense as to what is a sister, the relationship of a sister with other women. This is so much missing that to talk about it in England was impossible. They said this is a Victorian, even an earlier lady talking. See, they brand it. You are Victorian, you are Georgian, or you are... Anyway, everything moves according to the kings that ruled that horrible England, and the kings themselves being so horrible. And the kings themselves were such horrible things. I mean, I don't know how they were ideals for them. So you are branded as a Georgian or a this or a that. Whatever you say, You see, they cannot see the integration of anything. They just, one sentence they'll catch hold of, oh, this is absolutely Victorian. I said, all right, doesn't matter, but it's good, whether you like it or not. As if Victorian everything to be condemned, there must be something good about it also. This is how the whole outlook is of the people, all the time trying to brand others. What about yourself? What brand are you going to give yourself? That's the point nobody wants to see. What brand am I? What is my brand? I am a brat. That's what you are. Sometimes I feel so many people, the way they think, they have no sense. Like in the night, a nocturnal animal would dash into that and that into that. That's how they've broken themselves completely like mad. For what? Keep quiet. Be in the center. You had to just wait. It was going to happen. This is your own. You are the people who are searching the truth, for which it is all created. The whole scene is there. You have to just get it. Why are you breaking everything that God has given you? It's such a beautiful being He has created. You are the most beautiful person. Have you seen that when you go to the zoo, all the animals are looking at you? In the same way, they are looking forward to you. What have you got to give to them, I don't know. But once you get your realization, then you know the meaning of your being. Then you know what you are. And this is what one has to establish. We have really done lots of wrongs to ourselves by not understanding really self-estimation. One must know that you are the diamond, that you are the spirit, that you have to rise into the kingdom of God. You are specially made for this purpose. And right royal people you are, that you have to climb up there. Instead of that, you are lost into your egos and superegos, and frantically what you are doing is completely destroying all the chances of your ascent, which is so easily to be done. It's such a living force which is going to work out. It is not going to harm you in any way. It is for you only. It's all there. It is sahaja. It is within you. It is spontaneous. And it is going to work out. Only thing you have to know that you have not to treat yourself so shabbily and with such hatred towards yourself. There is no need to have such low opinion about yourself. This is the left side. The right side, of course, is of the people who talk big, you see, who say we say great politicians and things who just talk down people when they speak. They just dominate, and by their speech they control people. This is the center, right side. People who are hot-tempered and who lose temper and frighten people with their tempers, you see. They say such horrible things that people are just frightened of them, and just to keep them quiet, they manage somehow. This type of people have the right vishuddhi. They also have, when they have colds, coughs and all that, is a balance comes to them. When they have to talk too much also, they have to have this problem of right vishuddhi. And sometimes some people suddenly lose their voices, you see. When they talk too much, also they lose voices because the balance is created within them. Now the center one is that of Sri Krishna. Sri Krishna is the one who creates the witness within us. He's the one who refuted all kinds of formal, ritualistic things in religion. But he didn't become a hippie. That's one thing one should understand. That he didn't go to another extreme. You see, when he said that all these junks and formal things that are there, he didn't say that you take to drugs, another nonsensical formal thing. He said that if you have to get over these things, you have to see it as a drama. The whole thing is a joke going on. It's a drama going on. But for that you have to become. It's not a question of your achieving it by rational thinking. You have to go beyond your mind to achieve it. And that going beyond is done by the Kundalini. Now, if he did not do it, that does not mean that he was not in it. He was very much there. Like a painting you have, first you have the background, then you have another color, then you have your third color, now the fourth color, and now the time has come for the whole picture to be ready. Everybody has played their part, very important part in our evolution. Everyone is needed. Among you may be many who might be having a problem with Shri Krishna. Especially Hare Rama, Hare Krishna people, they suffer mostly from throat cancers. You can go and find out. Because they go against Krishna by taking his name so vainly. On Oxford Street they will stand with those things they get in the market, put them here, attach it here, and go on dancing, making mockery out of Shri Krishna's dignity, like that. And apart from that, they take a name unauthorized. Who has given them authority to take the name of Shri Krishna? They spoil this chakra doubly, because if you take two mantras, you spoil left Vishuddhi very badly. All those who have taken these so-called mantras have spoiled their left Vishuddhi. Because these mantras are not like one mantra to someone. I mean, are we only one chakra part of the chakras? And that too, like Thinga means this, and all these things, where are they within us? They ran short of the names, I think, so they started getting a hold of any names that they felt like, or they were sinister to give such horrible names to you. Left Vishuddhi you catch so badly. Mostly people who take to mantras, you will find when they speak, their lower jaw moves like this. They have difficulty in talking. They cannot talk properly. This is one of the things you will find with them. They'll have pain in the left-hand side. They'll have pain at the back. This is the beginning of it. Any mantra given to you has to have logical meaning. It's a big science of mantra. It's not something nonsensical that you come here, I give you a flower, finished. It's a big science. You see how many deities there are. You must know where the problem is. It is like a kundalini rising in its living power. You know that here is the obstruction. And you want to get rid of that obstruction, then you say there the password and you pass through. When the kundalini has not started, what's the use of having a mantra? The kundalini is frozen down there. And you are saying a mantra for a chakra. Now it would be something like this, that I am frozen in England and I am saying a password for a bridge here. It is absurd because you are so naive about it. Our Indian modern people also who think they are very westernized and sophisticated, they also are equally naive. They don't want to read anything about scriptures. They are not translated in English. They do not know anything about mantra vidya. The mantra has to be connected with your development in your kundalini. Not only that, but it should relate to the movement of the kundalini. It should be given by a person who is a realized soul, jagrut, awakened. Mantra has to be awakened. And that you will find in Sahaja Yoga that it is such a temporary thing. For example, the kundalini is stopping at this point. Now what is the mantra of this point? Lord's Prayer. Or I forgive, to make it short. That's the weapon Christ has given us, of forgiveness. At this point, which stops your thinking. But any Dick, Tom and Harry cannot do it. You have to have realization first. Then only, because the kundalini has reached there, you know that it is stopping there, then you have to say that, all right, this is Lord's Prayer. You say Lord's Prayer, it opens up. What is the mantra over here? Is Allahu Akbar. You put these fingers are of this center. You put them here and say Allahu Akbar 3 times, it will open up. But you have to be a realized soul to begin with, or the one who is telling you has to be realized soul. There has to be some authority from God, not from theological college or anything. It's a mockery to get knowledge of God in theological college. I mean, you must enter into the kingdom of God to know what He is, what it is like, what is His whole vidya, His knowledge. Divine knowledge is very different from the knowledge you have. Have you ever known that this is Vishuddhi Chakra before? You have never known this before, it's not written anywhere. Some things had to be told by me also. So this was left for me to be told. Now this chakra, of Vishuddhi Chakra, gives you the witness state that Krishna has described, that you become the Sakshi. I would like you to also listen to my tape on Sri Krishna, which is very good. Recently I spoke about him in a very detailed manner about Gita also. You can have all these tapes brought down here to Melbourne and listen to them But only listening to them is of no use. It's no use. It will give you ideas and you'll start behaving again in a funny way. I do not want you to make the same pickle out of me as you have pickled out other people. Put it to practice. Because when I spoke in America, they were all taping me down. And everybody said, Mother, you should not allow them to tape because you see these are all writers and this and that and they will use your knowledge and spread the thing. I said, they will, let them do it. After all, Kundalini I have to awaken, they cannot do it. If they could do, I would be very happy to sit down. Let them do it, I'll be very happy. Anybody who says that why should you, I said very good, you come along here and do it. I'll be very happy to settle down because I gain nothing. What is my gain? Anybody who is willing to do it, I'll be very happy to retire, absolutely. Because by God's grace, I'm a married woman and I'm very happily married. I have my own children and grandchildren. Why should I bother my head of going around the people traveling like this? Yesterday in Sydney, here in Melbourne, today again go back to Sydney, then to India. Why should I do it? For what? Only because I love, because I know it's my mission. I have to do it. I'm supposed to do it. This is the job I have. But if anybody else can do it, I'll be very happy for them to do. Now, when it comes to all these awakening and all that, it's a thing that happens to you. It is a thing that moves within you, and you have to feel the movement. It is not a blind lane where you just pay some money in the counter and say, now we enter into the blind lane and do what you like. Somebody says you jump, somebody says you do this and do that. Nothing. Everything is logical. First, your Kundalini must arise. If it does not arise, I cannot give you a certificate. You cannot give a certificate. Nobody can give you a certificate. It's nothing artificial. So in America, when I went and told them, and they had tape recorders and all that, something bad has also come out of it because it's a born again. All these things have come from there, only from my lectures. Because I told the Christians when they called me, thinking me to be Christian in the churches, you see, they thought this is bona fide. Because I was baptized according to them. So I should be baptized by these people. So I'm all right. I was bona fide. They called me in the churches. And they also collected a collection for me. Very interesting. But the best part of it, some of them got up certain words. I said, you are to be born again, you are to be born again. So they have got a now cult called Born Again. Finished. It's very difficult to talk to these mad people. Anything you tell them, they make a cult out of it. Anything you do, they want to pickle out. You see, it's such a difficult thing with human beings. They don't want to take to reality. They want to have their ego everywhere asserting, by which they pluck out all that is living and make that dead ugly and say, this is mine, this is mine, this is mine. It's absurd. But this is what happens to us. Now about Christ, I think the greatest message of Christ is his resurrection. This is resurrection. That he showed what Krishna has said in his lifetime, that the spirit doesn't die. It cannot be killed. It cannot be blown out. It has to rise. And it rises. Whatever you may try, it is eternal. And that's what Christ has proved by his resurrection. But by his resurrection he has achieved a great thing, which Hindus do not know. And the Christians have not carried the message, because they also do not know. The greatest thing that he has done to our awareness is that if you pass through that center, your karmas are sucked, your sins are forgiven. This is the beauty he has created within us, by which our ego is sucked in self. He sucks our ego. He is the sucker of our ego. But all the Christian nations are the greatest ego-oriented people. It's very difficult to talk to them. First thing they will do is to box your nose, if not crucify you. They're extremely aggressive people, extremely aggressive and very ignorant. They are so naive, so naive. In India, it's not so difficult to talk to them because they know what is knowledge. I mean, they know what is Kundalini. They know what is rising of the Kundalini. They know who can do this. It's not difficult to talk to them, but the people are so naive in spiritual life. And then they are so ego-oriented, despite the fact that Christ is the one who is the sucker of your ego. He is the one who sucks your ego, so there is no karmas after realization. You become the spirit. Spirit does not have any karmas, it's a myth, which is sucked, and this is what Christ has done for us. So when Christians, so-called, came to India, they converted people in such a crude method by putting a loaf in the well. If the poor Indians said that, they were naive as far as the Christianity was concerned. They said this was the meat of the cows. You are all finished, you are Christians. So the whole village became Christians. Like that, they tried all dirty tricks on Indians, and they all became Christians. So Indian Christians are the worst of all. Poor things, they think they are so condemned forever. Now they can never be reconverted, or they can never be realized, they cannot be resurrected. They are doomed people who have eaten the cow's meat. Not they, but their forefathers might. It is such a wretched state. But if any realized soul had come, they would have seen that this is what Christ was supposed to do, which is written in the Devi Bhagavad, that he is the support of the universe. But the narrow visions of Christians and the narrow visions of Hindus and the narrow visions of Muslims have made such a mess that the time has come to get the whole picture, the complete integration of all these great incarnations who are within you, and to understand them in reality, what they are, and becoming yourself such a wider personality as a collective being. About Christ, I don't know, I must have spoken hours and hours. About Krishna, I must have spoken for hours to hours. In England, also we have about 300 to 400 tapes on different subjects which you should get and listen to that. But again, do not make it a big library for you, please. It is to be actualized, it is to be felt, it is to be practiced within yourself. It is not for giving you any big knowledges. We have a book called Advent, which is written by a French Sahajogi, which is a very beautiful book, but we do not sell it to people who are not realized. We do not. Because it is very difficult for a person who is not realized to bear the truth. That's why they crucified Christ. That's why they tortured Muhammad. That's why they tortured all the saints, because they could not bear the truth. Their ego could not bear it. So we do not give those books to people who are not realized. If you are realized, then you can order for your copy. You can get the book, but you otherwise cannot get it. I'm sorry, we have certain experiences, and we deal on those experiences that unless and until human beings are realized, they are not going to value their divine life. They'll value anything else but their divinity. And here you do not pay a single pie. So there's no binding force. Like many people say, I said, why are you still doing these things? They said, we have paid for it, so let us go through it. Even it is hell, you go through it. That's the mentality. Now here there is nothing paid. There's no attachment. It's your freedom seeking, which is the attachment. If you are really a seeker, you'll go deep into it and have the blessings. Have the beauty of that spirit which is within you, which you can have. The time has come. This was the time, was promised. It's talked about in John's Revelation. Also, in many of the Indian scriptures, it is described. The best is William Blake, who has described it very beautifully. In his book called Milton, even the place where I lived first, Surrey Hills, he has said the first beacons will be lit in Surrey Hills. He has also said where our ashram is, that in the ruins of Lambeth Vale, the foundations will be laid. Come to Lambeth Vale, and he says that it will be a Jerusalem one day. England will be a Jerusalem. That's what he has said. It's a very interesting book, Milton. If you can get hold of it, please read it. It's all described. It describes everything, even the vibrations that her looms vibrate the sinews. It's a Jerusalem now, because people come for Sahaja Yoga. There are some very good Muslims we have, young people, who just found in their own country that fundamentally start taking the rule and they are behaving in such a fanatic manner. They thought that if God is such a fanatic nonsense, then better give him up. And they wanted to become communist, and they had taken to communism to a point when one of them came down to London, and somehow he happened to come to us, where he got his realization. After realization, he knew that it is one extreme is fanaticism, another extreme is denial of God. God is there, but in the center. He went back, he got 500 people realized who are Muslims. And now they come to London. His mother wanted to go to Makkah. Makkah is also, according to us, is a very great pilgrimage, no doubt, because Muhammad Sahib was really very great, and he was the incarnation of the primordial master, which can be proved on your Kundalini. All things that I'm saying can be proved on your Kundalini, and you can see for yourself. It's absolutely practical for you to see. Now when he came to, his mother wanted to go to Makkah, she told that now why do you want to go to Mecca? Now Mecca has shifted to London, better go to London. That's what it is. One has to realize that when we talk of anyone like Christ or Moses or Abraham or Muhammad or anyone, you should know they are all related to each other, while we are identified with one or the other. Let us identify ourselves with all of them through understanding of Kundalini. You'll be amazed when the Kundalini rises. If somebody is a Muslim, he has to take the name of Nanaka, otherwise the Kundalini doesn't rise. All the fanatics have to give up their fanaticism before the Kundalini rises. And even if their Kundalini rises and gives them realization, they are again sucked back into their fanatic pouches. So all these things will only disappear, all these relative things will disappear as soon as you find your absolute, that is your spirit. About the spirit, I'm sorry I cannot talk in such a small time. But there's a very good tape on Satchidanand, that is the spirit. And it's best is to listen to that, because I would do no honor to your spirit if I just finish it in 2 minutes or 3 minutes like that. It's a very wide subject and very beautiful, most enjoyable to know about your own spirit, about yourself, that truly you are, not this body, not this mind, not this ego, neither these conditionings and these all ideas you have, conceptions. You are what you are. Thank you very much. Now I'm going away to India on the 8th, and tomorrow there's a good program in Sydney. And 8th I'll be leaving, and then I'll be in India for a short time and going back to London. Maybe next year I'll be coming here. I would request you that you must attend your collective programs, because the message of Sahaja Yoga is collectivity. If you take my photograph and meditate at home, after some time you'll find you'll lose vibrations. You will not grow. You have to grow collectively. It's very important that all of you should grow together collectively. Collectiveness must be developed. Otherwise, you must work it out, how it works on others, and how you cure others, and how you help others is to be seen. Some people will be coming from Melbourne, from Sydney to Melbourne in the beginning, till you understand Sahaja Yoga, and then they will go away. Of course, there is no money, nothing involved. As you see, we have started in a very small way. Now, when next time I come, I'm sure Melbourne will be a seat of very good Sahaja Yogis, not doubting but understanding. Doubting doesn't give you much chance. You see, what is there to doubt is nothing but your ego is doubting something. There is nothing to doubt. Just come and see, this is a new university into which you have entered. You don't have to pay anything, that's all. Where you have to pay, you do not doubt and ask questions. I know you go headlong, but here you are free, you have freedom to doubt. But do not pull it too fast, because it will spoil your chances of realization. May God bless you.
Have a seat, Madam.
If there are any questions, Mother will happily answer them for you now. Then after that, she'll give you the experience of realization. Most of you have already got it. I can feel for you on my hands. I can feel that cool breeze, which means that at least the bulk of the audience has got it. But for those people who have any questions, let's get the questions over, because then your mind can just quietly recede and just let this central channel open and give you the experience. Questions? Yes?
Why is Hatha Yoga an impediment to the heart chakra?
Why is Hatha Yoga an impediment to the heart chakra?
The Hatha Yoga that you do here is an apology for real Hatha Yoga. Real Hatha Yoga was written by Patanjali thousands of years back for students who used to go to their gurus, and they were picked up specially for self-realization. All the children used to go to gurus in childhood from 5 to 25 years of age, and they led a very celibate life in those places. There was no question of their marrying each other, even when today, you see, these gotras means the universities we cannot marry. In the same gotra, supposing my gotra is a Shandilya, I cannot marry any boy from the Shandilya gotra. None of my children can also marry the gotra of my husband. So that purity is still maintained as brothers and sisters. So you can imagine the celibacy, that all the students of the university were brothers and sisters. These are the times when, long time back, they had this Chaturvarna Vyavastha, where people used to have 4 stages of life. First was the Brahmacharya, where celibacy was there. Second was the Grahastha, where they were married. Then was the Vanaprastha, where the husband-wife used to retire as grandparents in the forest and live with their children to give them love. And the fourth was where they were sannyasis. When one of them died, they lived like just like detached people and helped everyone around. Like that, we had a Chaturvarna Vyavastha. Now, in this Chaturvarna conditions, you see, the Patanjali was the great master of realization. And first thing that you have to do in Patanjali Yoga is Ashtanga Yoga. There are 8 things, but simultaneously to be done. By first thing is Ishvara Pranidhana, means establishment of God, means realization. That is the first thing to be done. That establish your God. Once you are established your God, then the Kundalini starts rising. Then supposing there's a problem on any center, all right? Then there are other ways also of curing it. There are Ashtangas. And one of them is also a little physical exercise for a particular chakra if it is on the right side got. We too use that. But depending on what is the trouble. For example, I have a trouble in the throat and I try to do some exercise for the stomach. Stomach will go out and throat will remain as it is. It is like taking all the medicines in the medicine bottle without discrimination. That also is only physical, which is the 24th part of these 8 angas. 8 multiplied 24. Now, why heart chakra catches also can be understood that when you pay so much attention to, these days Hatha Yoga means physical exercise, isn't it? Just to, I don't know, people do it mostly to become slim, thin and all those things. But if your attention is so much on your body alone, you are not only body. You are your body, you are your mind, you are your ego, superego. Of all the things, you are your spirit. There's no attention on your spirit. That's why heart gets a problem, because you don't pay attention to your spirit but to your body. If you divert your attention too much to your body, the spirit is angry. That's why the modern Hatha Yoga gives it, not the real Hatha Yoga, but the so-called modern Hatha Yoga. Even today in India, in many places, they practice the real Hatha Yoga, but there are very few places. And everybody is not allowed to enter there. It's a very rare thing. We too use Hatha Yoga. But we do not sort of use the way you people do. When the Kundalini rises, we know where is the problem is, and different asanas are given. To all of them I teach them, which is to be done for this chakra. It is pertaining to the chakra that catches. Now what does he have? Yes, please.
I've always been given the impression through reading about spiritual things that you have to be a very evolved person before you can start messing around with Kundalini, and that it's actually
Very true. It's very difficult to raise the Kundalini, no doubt. Nobody should mess about with it. You have to be a very holy person to do it. Actually, these people who have written books do not know a word about it. There's one big book I read where they said the Kundalini is in the stomach. I was astonished. I mean, how can they write? He's a Western man. So dishonest to write such a thing, that Kundalini is in the stomach. He doesn't know a word about it. See, and how they write, God only knows from where they learn these things, I don't know. It's just to publish some, just a hand, please, will you listen to this answer and listen to things first than telling, because your mind is just on one question. Please keep your mind to what I'm answering her, all right? Now, what happens that when the Kundalini rises, she rises only under the authority of God, otherwise she does not. Because you are not an Indian, you will not know why I am raising the Kundalini. But Indians immediately know that's what I am. There must be something about me and they know who I am. Which I'm very afraid to tell you people. But they immediately know who I am. I don't have to tell them because it's already written that only such person can raise the Kundalini, so they know what it is. Because they have seen with their own eyes the raising of the Kundalini. Alright? There's something special about me. That's all. Alright? Now what about these gentlemen?
If the highest and the lowest meet, why do you associate Australia with the base of the spinal chakra?
What is he saying?
If the heart is,
If the highest and the lowest meet, why do you associate Australia with the chakra at the base of the spine?
if the highest and the lowest meet, meaning the base and the sastra, why do you associate Australia with Muladhara chakra?
You see, Muladhara chakra is not the lowest, is the holiest of holy, is the highest, is the first to be created, is the greatest to be worshipped, is first to be worshipped. If you ask an Indian, he will know what it is to be Muladhara chakra. If I have to declare to them that Australia and Muladhara chakra, they'll give up Kashi and all those places and come down here. This Muladhara chakra is adorned by Ganesha, who is purity, complete purity, he is innocence. It is the highest of highest. Nobody can reach Ganesha. Even Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh cannot reach. Oh, you felt that way. I respect you because you are born here. Oh, you must have thought. And you are so pure. That's why you are put there. You are the highest of highest. That's why you are put there. That nothing can make you impure. You are like a lotus born in the mud.
Yes.
Can you feel your Kundalini rising more than once or feel the sensation?
Can you feel your Kundalini rising more than once, and can you feel the sensations?
The Kundalini is like many ropes or strings tied together like a rope, you see, you can say. And one rises, then the second one rises. You can. So many people feel it, very much. Hugo told me that, Mother, he has a bad Vishuddhi, left Vishuddhi because he has done this mantra business. And he was cooking in the kitchen and suddenly he felt a cool breeze and the cool movement of the Kundalini. On the left Vishuddhi, he said, I knew, Mother, you are working there. It's like that. It always rises and it helps you. It's always rising. Once it's awakened, it's rising. But you can freeze it also by certain things. You can, if you want to. I mean, human beings have freedom to do what they like. There can be fallen angels also. What to do? If they are bent upon falling, how can you help them?
Yes.
When you speak on the newspapers, mostly, can you start talking about Dharma?
What?
What was the first part of the question? I didn't get that.
The question is, obviously, India is the land of Dharma on the planet.
Yes. You're asking the question, is it?
No, I'm not asking the question, can it be?
Can India be?
Can it be?
What is it?
Can India be the land of Dharma?
Are you an Indian? Huh? Is he an Indian?
He's an Australian.
If I say something, will they get angry with me, Australians?
Yes, they would. Quite ignorant.
Then you tell me what is the discretion is better part of valor. India is a, I know what is the next will come after that, then why there is such a problem. But India is a spiritual country, no doubt about it. Because the accent is not on material development, but is on the control of the spirit, control of the attention. From the very childhood, the children are taught how to control the attention. Where is your attention? A mother will say. She will not say, you will spoil the carpet. She will not say this. That's not. Accent is not on the carpet. Where is your attention? And still it is so, basically. So we can say, apart from that, this country has the Kundalini of the universe in it. It is the Kundalini there. And England is the heart. So I don't know which one is better or which one is less. Everything is so important. But definitely India is a yoga bhumi, no doubt. But yours is punya bhumi, I said. Punya means what's it? Where people have earned a lot of
Credits and debits.
credits, good credits from God. It's a punya bhumi, no doubt. They have earned. Their conscience is good. Australians have a good conscience, no doubt about it. It's a punya bhumi.
There are people in Australia who place great store by Shambhali consciousness. How do you mention it?
What's it?
Place great store by.
Shambhali consciousness.
Jawari.
There are people in Australia who place great stock on Shambhali consciousness. He's surprised you haven't mentioned it.
No, I don't know them. I have not met them. But maybe they are not doing some sort of a supraconscious stuff.
It's
He says it is.
Jawal Cool. It's the invisible master.
No, that invisible master is a joke, I tell you. It's a big joke. You better be your own master. So, because these invisible masters, I have been to some places in America where they were having invisible masters and all that. They are all possessed, absolutely possessed people. None of them, you see, actually one should understand one simple thing, that none of the masters can possess you, can never. They give you complete freedom. They do their job without possessing you. How can you get connected with them unless and until you have got Kundalini awakened? You have to be awakened, otherwise how will you be connected? Just sitting together like this, and this is all supraconscious activity which you can listen to one of my lectures where I have described all these things very clearly. See, it might have started from the seeking only. But while seeking, when they don't find it, they want to break their heads. That's what it is. All these things have started from seeking. Not with nonsense. I do not think. I do not want to say even that people who are using sex for Kundalini awakening are also wrong, because I am a mother. I want to excuse everyone. I say maybe that they might have seen this Ganesha sitting there and his trunk they might have misunderstood as the Kundalini. Might be. You see, as a mother I have to give excuses for my children. But it's a big mistake, not a big mistake, but plunge into the nonsense. That is true. Proof of the pudding is in the eating. Anyone you meet who says that I have got it all right, tell me where is my chakra, where are your chakras? Finished. Where is my Kundalini, where is your Kundalini? He will tell. Hugo can tell. Saj Yogis can tell. Any great realized soul will say that the Kundalini is here. This is the way you should know. Does he tell you about the Kundalini? Where is the Kundalini? What is the chakra? It's an actual thing. If supposing there's a doctor, then he should be able to diagnose. He says, I am a doctor of this university and doctor of that university. Ultimately you find he is not even a doctor, not even a fisherman. So anybody says anything, you should not believe, but see for yourself. Once you are realized, unless and until you have got realization, you cannot understand it. What is it?
One last question.
He's lost his chances. Huh? What is it doing?
Do you want to keep the body you've got, or do you want to take more incarnations?
Do you want to keep the body of God, or do you want to take more incarnations? I think the language is very much styled by some of his reading, Mother.
I just don't understand. My child, you are really reading too much. Better stop it. One should not read so much that you go mad. Actually, really, this is too much. That's why Kabira said when I was small, I read Kabir Das. He said, Padi padi pandita murakha bhai. Means by reading too much, even the learned have become stupid. I said, how can they become? I could not understand, but now see, if you read too much, you get so confused. You see, all others are in your head and you are lost. Now don't be funny. Don't ask about me. I am not going to tell you anything about myself. I'll only tell you about you, all right? Better not, because I do not want to fall into any controversies. I do not want to be crucified this time. All right? That's between you and me.
Well, 20 years ago, my father used to tell me that I would not make myself better by criticizing other people. And
His father.
the first half hour of this program was spent criticizing other people who were left nameless. I would have thought that this house is your temple, as you described last time, would have been better without those criticisms.
What's he saying?
Oh, he's a little upset at the fact that you're criticizing.
Oh.
Oh,
You
various
see-
people. He says that the first half hour was spent criticizing.
Yes, it is necessary. Because I find that here people have suffered a lot. I have to tell about them. You see, when a mother sees that children are ruined and killed by other people, she has to tell them. It's a very sad thing. I don't like it. I did not do it for years, but I cannot help it now to tell them. I find somebody like Hugo coming to me with all his backbone broken, his money is lost, everything, I have to tell him. I should say, no, go and garland the fellow and give all the money you have also and give away this camera also to him. Should I? What should I do? Criticizing is only possible when you want to see that what is wrong. Like Christ, people said that, why do you criticize? They do not criticize. He said the devil is not going to talk against his own home or house. It's true. They are not going to talk against. They are all friends. But they will all fight, you will see, and fall down. Do you know what harm they have done to people? Then you will not say, I should not criticize. It takes courage to criticize them. Who will criticize? Will you? Why not? Will you not criticize if you find your own child being hurt and murdered by someone? What? What is it?
It's a pointless discussion, Mother.
You are pointless, really. Useless. If you are such a compassionate person, do something good.
Yes.
Can you explain about karma, about letting go of karma when you get...
Can you explain about letting go of karma?
Now, what happens then?
You see, I am not saying that you let it go mentally or rationally. You see, it happens to you. Your karmas are sucked in by the ego. This chakra is that of Christ, all right? And this chakra, when it is opened, he sucks your karmas. The ego is sucked in, is absorbed, and it is neutralized. This is what Christ has done, which nobody has been able to say. Tell what so. He himself said, we say that he died for our sins, means what? What means what? Still you say we are sinners? Now he died for, we should suffer? Why should you suffer? You are saints, why should you suffer? And if anybody tries any hand at you or makes you suffer, I will not allow. They had a very bad time before, no more. They better not try these tricks. I will flout them openly and expose them, all of them, one by one, whether you like it or not. I have to protect my children.
Yes.
I've heard it said that Kundalini is the power of imagination. What truth is in that?
He's heard that Kundalini is the power of imagination. What truth is there in that?
You will see for yourself, it is not. You see, this is the trouble. Everybody start talking about God, about Kundalini. Everybody has a right. Whether you are authorized or not, who is going to ask you? These are like villagers coming to the city, touching somewhere in the plugs and saying that electricity gives you a shock. They are so naive and so stupid, unholy people. Then they all start talking like this. I'm telling you the truth, you can see for yourself. Don't believe these people. What good have they done? You see, anybody says anything, you ask him, what good have you done? Why do you talk? Finished. How many people you have given realization? But you will start giving realization to others once your Kundalini is awakened. The proof of the pudding is in eating. It's easy to talk and jabber. What is it? You just raise your tongue and say something.
Well, actually, I read it in a pretty reputable.
What's it? What is he saying?
What was the book?
It was the In Search of the Miraculous.
He read it in a reputable book, he said, In Search of
The Miraculous?
the Miraculous. Who said does it give vibrations, this book? That's what you have to check.
So many reputable people, you will find them very soon, are absolutely horrible people. You will find them. First of all, you open your eyes to that, all right? Once you have the truth with you, you can judge it better. You see, in the darkness, what will you know? Such reputable people also crucified Christ. They could never recognize him. If they had eyes, they would have. That's why he said, I'll forgive everything that's done to me, but I'll not forgive whatever is done to the Holy Ghost.
Yes.
Mataji, I'm a member of the Hare Krishna movement, and I've been chanting the holy names of Krishna, and it's given me a great pleasure. But I've also been branded as a Sahaja because I feel that I've recognized the divinity within me, that is me. And also I spend
What she said.
Sorry.
Can we just do a little bit at a time? Firstly, she's a member of Hare Krishna movement. It gives her a lot of joy, and yet you've been branded as Sahaja by some devotees.
My devotees.
Well, it doesn't worry me because I feel that I'm
All
realizing
right.
my divinity by the grace
Now
of
just see, now I'll tell you one thing. It's nice to say that it gives me joy. All right. People, if they buy diamonds, that also gives joy to some people. If they go to a pub, that also gives joy to them. This is no criteria. What joy have you given to others? That's it. You see what happens that after realization, you become so collectively conscious, you can cure people, you can raise their kundalini, you can give them mental peace, you can give them complete powers that they have. This all you can give them. It's not just an imaginary joy that I feel very happy. It's very nice, you see. I don't know about you, but I have seen many these Hare Krishna's people. They live in a paradise of their own. They have made, oh, Krishna is my lover and I am lover of Krishna and I am this and that. Where is Krishna and where are they? What is the connection? There's no connection, just imagination. You see, it's many, like these nuns say we have married Christ. How can you marry Christ? This is nonsense. How can you fall in love with Krishna? It's absolutely atrocious, I think. How can you treat him like this? He is the lover of everyone. How can it be? Marrying Christ of all the things is, I cannot understand. He is innocence. How can you marry innocence? No question of marriage with Christ. They all think, oh, we are married, we are very happy. It's a drama they are making out of it. If you want to live in illusions, you can live. And if they have branded you something, if you want to accept any brand, you can go ahead. But according to Sahaja Yoga, you have to get your realization first. No branding. First you get your realization. Can you tell where is his Kundalini? Finish. Then Sahaja Yoga doesn't deal with all these dramas. You have to tell me where is the Kundalini of another person. You have to raise the Kundalini. You should be able to give baptism. You have to see that the cool breeze comes out. That's what Sahaja Yoga is. You may be branded as anything. So what? You might brand yourself as Sri Krishna. What to do? You can brand. You see, this is all imagination. This is what imagination is. What's it?
You
No, that will be wasting of time.
not books.
Please
We've
don't
had enough
wasting
books.
of time.
Yes.
No, no,
Finish the
No,
question
take it.
here.
You see, Sydney people never ask so many questions, and they got realization. About 500 of them. Melbourne are more asking questions and less people coming. You judge for yourself. And this is all imagination. Just think of it. Who would like to be in such imaginary powers?
Just finish your question.
No, there's no questioning. You see, these people have questions are what?
Okay. Okay then.
I just want to say
This question has no meaning. You must get your realization.
Yes. Somebody else?
I think Lord Chaitanya in the 16th century propagated the chanting of Hare Krishna in India. Wasn't he a very great person? Some people say he was an incarnation of Krishna himself.
What's he?
Lord
Chaitanya.
Lord Chaitanya in the 6th century, did he not?
16th century.
16th century, did he not chant?
Propagated the chanting of Hare Krishna.
Propagate the chanting of Hare Krishna.
Lord Chaitanya died in the 16th. The one who started was this Hare Krishna fellow. I need not say, but you see his face only. Now he is no more, thank God. But you see his face. How does he look like? We always used to say he can replace this Leslie Piggott, who was the jockey. His face was so, did he look like a happy man by any chance? What makes you think like this, that by chanting God's name you will reach God? On the contrary, you will be arrested. I'll tell you a simple thing. For example, if you have to chant God's name, we should say the Prime Minister's name here. I don't know who is the Prime Minister. You go near his house and start chanting his name. They'll all arrest you. What right have you got to chant his name? They will ask. As simple as that. Lord Chaitanya was there. It's all right. God knows whether he chanted or not. This is what this gentleman says. Actually, he is not Lord Chaitanya. So you better not confuse him with that. It's like any missionary saying, I am Christ. Or I have authority over Christ. It's like that. It's not to be considered here. But what I would say, that is simple thing, use your logic. If you want to take somebody's name, you should be at least connected with that person. Supposing there's a telephone and he's not connected. You go on ringing a person, Shri Krishna, will you reach there? You have to be connected. It will spoil your throat completely, you will see that. It's an antidote of smoking, you take it from me. It's a nervousness in the throat, you see, and some people find an expression for the throat, they take to it. It is just an imaginary thing. There is nothing like enjoying something in imagination. Take the reality into your hands. What Krishna has said, that you have to become the Jnani. You have to know it. Means you have to become realized souls. Even in bhakti, he has said you have to be ananya bhakti. Now, ananya means when you are realized, when you are not the other. When you are realized, then only do the bhakti. He also said the same thing.
But didn't he also say that to realize him, you have to have devotion towards him?
For the?
Didn't Krishna say that in order to...
When did I say you
realize?
should not have devotion? You should have devotion from your heart. But not this imaginary thing, I am in love with Krishna, I am in the river Ganges, or I am the Yamuna river, this I am feeling the picture, all this nonsense. And then I am walking, then Krishna breaks my things. All this imaginary thing you should not do, yes. You must have devotion not only for Krishna, for all these people. Hare Krishna and all that, do they tell you what Christ did? Did they tell you what Muhammad has done? Why do they cancel all the other people?
They don't. That's a fallacy.
Enjoyment is not the point here. The point is joy. You must get the joy, not enjoy.
No, but it's not even a reward. It's just that I'm saying that I truly find joy. I don't chant like a river, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. I sing.
Why don't you do it? You should, if you belong to that cult, you should. You should go to Oxford Street, wear that horrible sari, which is falling down, and dance there with that. That's what you should do, what all others are doing. If you don't do it, you are a sensible woman. But still you must get your realization. You must get your realization.
Yes, but you see,
If you are satisfied with what you are, I have nothing to force you. I also cannot promise your realization, my child. That is one thing I must tell you very humbly. I may not, but I would say as a mother, please get your realization.
I agree with you, Mataji, that we should look to all the great teachers.
Yes, and
Closed off. I've read everything that I can remember.
that you do, but that is on mental level. Now you are doing everything on mental level. I am saying you have to go beyond, you have to become. Now I am saying you take your powers, and why are you denying it? All right? I am saying you get your realization. Not easy, I would tell you this much. That if you have been to this Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, rather difficult. But I will work out. It takes time, I have to work very hard. You don't know how much I have to work for this Hare Rama. Oh God, I myself start saying Hare Rama when they come to me. It's not easy, I must tell you.
It's not cheap. One doesn't take the holy name
Huh?
of God cheaply.
Yes.
the devotees do.
In this day and age, is it possible to receive the gift of realization from any others aside from
Mataji.
devotees who follow you?
In this day and age, is it possible to get realization from any other than you or your devotees?
Is it possible to get? Of course, of course. You also can give realizations once you are realized. Oh, of course,
He
that's
said-
what it is. And that's what William Blake has written very clearly about this. He said that God of men will become prophets.
Men of God.
Men of God will become prophets. And these prophets will have a capacity to make others prophets. This is what it is. You can do it. You see, you don't know in Australia, just a minute. In Australia, I didn't come before. He and his friend Terence were there in India. And they were halfway running away. Because I live in the villages, you see. I have got most of my disciples are in the villages because city people, you know, they want to have all this show and circus. So I go to villages, and in the villages we don't even have bathrooms or anything. It's very Spartan. And both of them were so upset with the whole show that they wanted to run away, you see. But I said, no, stay back, somehow or other. And then when they got their realization, very difficult, this one. Not easy person, he went to everyone. He didn't miss even one. Your Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, everything he has done, he's gone through every sort of a mill. And then he got realization, then he gave realization to 200 people in Sydney. 200 people, these two. So you can do it also.
Yeah, all right, I agree with that. But can it only come from one who is sort of branching out from you?
What
You
here?
start
Can it only come from you or your disciples, or can it come from people other than Sahaja Yogis?
Could be.
There are great realized souls.
Yes, there are one or two, no, about 4 or 5 I should say whom I know. One of them is a Gagangad Maharaj, but I told him, why don't you give realization to them? You see, these gurus are not so simple like your mother is. He's very difficult personality. One day he told me, if anybody troubles you, better send him over to me. I'm not going to give realization to anyone. I gave to one and he turned out to be nothing. I didn't know it was such a difficult thing. So one gentleman was just troubling me for nothing at all. Why do you want to give realization to all of them? They don't deserve it and all that sort of thing. Always used to ask me questions and trouble me. I said, go, Maharaj has called you. And this man never sees anybody normally, you see. So he was very happy, oh, he's such a holy man that Maharaj has called him. Really, I don't know again where to laugh or to cry, the way things happened. After some time that he came, in such a horrible state, both his legs were tied up here and he was dangling and 2 people were carrying him. I said, now what happened? Really tears came into my eyes. I said, what has happened to this man? What has he done out of him? So he came, he said, Mother, do anything, don't send me to Maharaj. I said, what did he do? He said, you don't know, he's very cruel. I said, what did he do? He said that, you see, I just told him, I said, you talked against me? He said, yes, I told him that Mother gives realization to everyone, every Dick, Tom, Harry, she doesn't weigh anyone, and this and that. I said, that's all. I said, yes, a little more. I said something against you, I know. But what did he do? He said he did not do. You see, they have broken his legs and hands, so he goes about on a tiger. So he said his tiger came in the night and threw me in a khud. And I was lying there for 3 days with the broken legs and nobody bothered about me. 4th day he dropped some rotis, that's a kind of a bread we eat in India, that you eat now and lie down there. And I was just there in all filth and everything. I was lying there for again 3 days. He was giving me rotis from there. And then on the 7th day, he sent some people to carry me out. And then he said, now, you go to that Mataji with your legs around your neck, dangling, and she's the one who is going to fix you up. And don't say a word against her. That's what they are. Another doctor who was troubling me a lot. So I said, why don't you go and see Gagangad Maharaj? This was before this thing happened, you know. So the doctor came, was so thinned down, absolutely in a very run-down condition. I said, what happened? He said that Maharaj asked me to clean a Shiva temple. He said, it's very nice, you'll enjoy it very much, you are cleaning Shiva, this is a very great temple of Shiva, clean it. Every day I used to walk 3 miles up the hill, clean the Shiva temple with water, buckets used to carry, and then again come back, carry buckets and all that. In 1 month he became a very thin fellow, just like as if he has been climbing Himalayas. So I asked Maharaj, why did you do like this? Why were you so cruel to him? He said, the donkeys must be given donkey's job. And another Maharaj, is a great person I know of in Calicut. I asked him, I said, why don't you go to America? He ran away. In 3 days he ran away. He said, they are useless people, why are you giving them realization? They are good for nothing. They are useless people, they don't deserve any. Let them hang themselves by the nearest tree. Went back. And one of the disciples who were in America, I had given him realization. He was an Indian. And he started earning money out of Sergio. I did not know when he came to Bombay, people found out from his vibrations that he was very hot. So I asked him, what do you do? He showed me the brochure there. It was written for ordinary vibrations $200 and for special ones $500. I was shocked. I said, how can you do it? He said, no, I have to run a hotel for them. And I said, you run a hotel or do whatever like in the name of God. You cannot run a hotel like Hare Ramas do. You have to run it for your own sake. It's all right. And you don't pay for their stay, but you cannot make money out of it. You cannot. And you can do some other work, what you were doing. He said, I was teaching. I said, now you should teach. You cannot go into enterprises like this in the name of God. You have no business to charge for vibrations. How much did you pay for your realization that you are charging like that? He got very angry with me. He said, you must have money, otherwise what will you do, and this and that. I said, see, you can do any business you like on your own, but you cannot do in the name of God, and no organization like this is going to be raised in the name of God. And I will not permit you. I really tell you, forbid you to do it. I was very strict. He got very angry with me. So he went to Ivan Maharaj to meet him. And then he came back about a month or so. He said, I had a very bad time with this Maharaj. I said, what happened? I don't know how he came to know that I have been to you. When I went to his place, I went into the gate and he started throwing stones at me. And I got hurt very badly. So I ran away to the station. Then he sent one man there saying that, how dare you come and to see me when you have insulted mother and you wretched fellow and all sorts of things. So then he, poor man, you see, he sent for that, I'm sorry, but I must see Maharaj and all that. The third day he allowed him to see, and then he said that you go and tell mother that I will come and pay my respects sometime. And he sent a very nice tape with all the Sanskrit things describing me with him. When this fellow came back, he telephoned to me, he said, Mother, please forgive me, this has happened, and he sent this thing. He read it on the telephone, and I want to meet you. But you'll be surprised, he has tried and tried. He went to America, came to London, he never met me since then. This is what happens.
How about doing what I said, getting your realization, finding out for yourself? Don't believe what Mataji says. Find out for yourself from the vibrations. If you get the cool breeze, if you get the vibrations flowing through you, you can find out absolutely. You can check it with known facts. You can blindfold yourself, do double-blind tests. We've done them. I'm a scientist. You can put it to the test. Why don't you get your vibrations and then find out for yourself? These questions are just getting you completely caught up in this thing, which we've been trying to escape from, probably for many lives.
You see, I can understand your questioning is all right, but I can tell you, I asked a gentleman this morning that before paying 3,000 pounds, did you find out why you are paying, or did you ask any question? He said, nothing. I just paid. Before these gurus, you don't ask any questions. You just go headlong before them. It's only with mother you take liberties and go on this way or that way. For example, this lady who is Hare Rama, did she ask any question to her guru? Nothing.
No, I did. I asked many questions.
You have never even met him. That's it. What I'm trying to tell you, that when you have freedom, use it for your good. Use it for your good. No, none of them has said that you should have your realization. Did they say? On the contrary, they said, pass on your purse here, pass on your money, we have to run an organization, we have to run this. Did they say that I give you realization, any one of them? And when I say I am giving you realization, you want to ask me questions? What does that suggest? What does that suggest? That you have no self-estimation. Simple thing. If you knew that you are there to get it, you will get it. Now you don't ask me any questions because your questions is pointless. Are you sent by somebody here?
He's just.
I'm very pleased to see you.
Huh?
I just said I'm pleased to see you. I'm not sent by
Then why do you ask questions now, disturbing everyone? If you really are pleased, then sit down now and have your realization. Be a nice boy. Come along. It's too much.
Please excuse me.
Huh?
Please excuse me.
What is?
There's little difference between a web that you pay to be on and a web that's free. They're all webs just the same.
Words, words, words.
Now, you see, disturbed us, now is going away.
Yes.
Now, how many out of you want to go away? Please first go away. I do not want to answer the questions of people who are just here to ask questions. All those who are asking questions are going to go away, I know that. Moreover, none of them are going to get realization. That also I know. You are creating barriers for yourself. You are cutting the branch on which you are standing. How am I to tell you this is stupidity? Well, none of you want realization of what? You do. Except for one or two foolish people, doesn't matter. Now come along, let's have it. Please put your hands towards me, take out your shoes. All of them are not stupid. They are all sensible people. They have to have their realization, main thing is. Just put your hands like this. Now, please now, come along. Take out your shoes. Come along, have your realization, then you ask me questions. Come along, take out your shoes. Put your hands like this. Be a nice boy. Do you ask questions when some food is offered to you? Now, please. Just look at this. Now you see for yourself. Now see for yourself. Just laugh it out. Really see for yourself. What is there to ask questions? This is something beyond your mind. This you have to achieve. This you have to become. What can you ask? What's the use of egg asking a question? He has to become a chick. Finished. What question are you going to ask? You have to just become the chick. Easter is coming. Left side. You're bad. I have a problem because your centers are not all right. You have some chakras being caught up. Your one side is not working, another is hayward. I have to work it out. Here you are fighting with me for nothing at all. What is the game? Be sensible.
The whole left side is shaking.
Absolutely, the left side is completely gone. Now, you please put your left hand towards me. Now, we'll have to do some exercise before we start it now. This is the problem. I am facing the problem. You don't know your problem. You will know it very soon. Now, put your right hand on your heart and say that, Mother, am I the spirit? Close your eyes and say. Need not say loudly, but in your heart, fully. You ask a question to me. You have to ask questions, but sensible questions. Say that, Mother, am I the spirit? Just ask a question, am I the spirit? Which you are. But ask the question on the left. Put your left hand on the heart. I'm sorry, right hand on the heart. And left hand towards me, sorry, left hand towards me. Just ask a question, am I the spirit? Close your eyes if you want to. Mother, am I the spirit? Better. Some are getting cool breeze. Not all. It's very weak. Left hand. Now, You put your left hand towards me like this, and right hand you move on this. Because the left is absolutely deadened, you have to awaken your left side. Put it on your top of your head and put it down. Now show them, show them. Put the left. Do it 7 times. Om Sakshat Mahakali, Om Sakshat Mahakali, Om Sakshat Mahakali, Om Sakshat Mahakali, Sakshat Mahakali, Om Sakshat Adi Shakti, Om Sakshat Adi Shakti, Om Sakshat Mahakali, Om Sakshat Mahakali, Om Sakshat Mahakali. All right.
Still weak.
Still. Pull it up. Put it up. Let them ask the question. Holy Ghost, let it be. What to do?
Just all of you,
Now ask a real question.
ask a very simple question which is probably in all your minds. Ask, Mother, are you the incarnation of the Holy Ghost? Ask it 3 times with your both hands out.
Holy Spirit.
Are you the incarnation of the Holy Spirit?
Ask thrice. Got it? So the answer has come.
That's quite good.
Ask from your heart this question. This will give you the answer. You ask those who follow Shri Krishna. Ask, Mother, are you Shri Krishna? Open your eyes and ask. Ask the question, Mother, are you Shri Krishna? How will you recognize? All right?
Are you Shri Krishna, Mother?
If you are Christian, if you follow Jesus Christ, ask the question, Mother, are you Jesus Christ? Power is the same. If you are a Jew, ask, Mother, are you Moses? Are you Abraham? If you are Muslim, ask, are you Muhammad? Just ask the question. Recognize now. All your love must have some fruit. What's this of loving and calling, and when the person comes in you don't recognize? Enjoy the Ananya Bhakti now. Ask if you are Sri Radha Krishna. Ask. If you are a doctor, you can ask, Mother, are you the doctor of doctors? If you are lawyers, you can ask, Mother, are you the source of law? Ask the question. All right. If you are a devotee of Krishna, you ask, Mother, are you Virat? Are you the primordial being? That's how you'll know why Kundalini rises like that. Huh?
Very cool.
Great? May God bless you all. Don't think about it. You got it beyond thinking. Please now develop. You have been sprouted. It should not be that some seed fell in the horrible grounds. You all can develop. I'm so happy you are also devoted and dedicated people.